I've not only gained 5 pounds, but 15. I am actually shook because this whole time I've just been eating and doing my thing and I haven't been measuring myself. When I was able to step on the scale and saw 151 pounds, I was happy because not only did I get to my goal of 150 pounds, but I'm actually passing it. If you want to learn about how I was able to gain over 15 pounds eating a plant-based diet, keep watching this video. I've been eating this way for the last 2 months and proving to myself that gaining weight on a plant-based diet is actually quite possible. Every single day, I'm able to get in 3,000 to 4,000 calories with these simple meals. First things first, if you are losing weight or not gaining weight, it's highly likely that you're not eating enough food. In order to gain weight, you have to consume more calories in a day than what you're able to burn in that same day. I downloaded an app called MyFitnessPal. They're going to tell you to put in your current weight, your height, as well as your weight goal. So I put all of that in and they basically told me how many calories I need to consume in a day in order to gain weight. What this helps you to do is to keep track of your meals, and you are going to be shown the amount of calories that you've consumed for the day. It's kind of like a game. So if you know that you're supposed to consume 2,000 calories, but you look into MyFitnessPal and you see that you only consumed 1,500 calories, then you know for sure that you have some more snacking to do or you have another meal that you need to get in. It's the same for if you want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight and you're only supposed to be consuming 1,500 calories and you look at your app and you see 1,800, then you know that you're definitely out of bounds. If you're trying to gain weight, you cannot be missing any meals. But if you're a busy person, don't worry, I have the solution for you. I set alarms on my phone. Alarms that will remind me to eat because I am a busy person. I will be working, and just because I don't want to stop the work that I'm doing, even though I'm hungry, I'll just keep working instead of eating. And then by the time I eat, I've already missed at least 2 meals. And then when I eat that 1 meal, I'm only eating for 1 meal, you see me? So I realized that I really needed to be eating more food. So I set alarms on my phone. The first alarm is for 9:15, that's when I eat breakfast. The second alarm is 12:15, that's for lunch. The third alarm is 3:15, and that's for another lunch. The next alarm is 7:15, and that is for dinner. Each time that my alarm goes off, I basically just stop whatever I'm doing and I eat. And even if I don't stop whatever I'm doing, I'll stop shortly after and eat. And if I ever miss a meal, I make up for that meal in one sitting. So let's say I miss breakfast. When I'm eating lunch, I'll eat enough that would suffice for breakfast and lunch. For breakfast, I have oats porridge. And I make my oats porridge with coconut milk that I make from scratch. So I'll use a dry coconut and I'll make the coconut milk and I'll cook the oats in it, and then I'll sweeten it with brown sugar. So when I'm done with all of that now, I chop up a ripe banana into my porridge and I'll have that with a side of fried green plantains. This is my favorite breakfast meal, and I do this every single morning. You really have to simplify. So you have to find the meals that work for you and have those every single day religiously for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that right there is my religious breakfast. So I'll have 2 servings of that. One at 9:15 a.m. Then at 12:15 p.m. when my alarm goes off again, I'll have the rest of the porridge that's left with another ripe banana in it. But this time, I don't have any fried green plantains. Once my alarm goes off at 3:15, I'll make myself a smoothie. Now my smoothie has oats, again, peanuts, peanut butter, and I recently started putting dragon in them. That pretty much makes it kind of like strong back in a way. And it also gives it an extra kick, you know what I mean? I bought some almonds today that I'm going to be adding to my smoothie, but I know for sure that almonds are very, 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 very good for if you want to gain healthy weight because they have natural fats in them and they also have lots of protein in them. I got these for $720. I'm not even talking about prices right now because that's not what this video is about. And sometimes with that smoothie, I'll actually fry a ripe plantain, like a half of a ripe plantain. Then once my alarm goes off again at 7:15, I'll have dinner. But with this dinner, I'll also have another cup of smoothie. The smoothie that I make earlier in the day can usually give me 2 cups. And my cups are big, like about this big. I don't like thick smoothies, so my smoothies are always like really runny and nice. And for my dinner, I'll have a variety of things. So in my last video, I showed you guys me having a lentil and shiitake mushroom stew for dinner. It's not always like that. So for the last couple of nights, I've been having a stew that has chickpeas, ackee, and pumpkin in it, and turmeric. So it's like a curry vibe, and I'll have that with pressed plantains and lettuce and ripe plantains. Some of the different varieties of meals that I like to eat are, for example, green lentils. I'll sometimes make rice with this along with a lentil stew, so that way it's like extra calories. And what I love about lentils is the fact that if you should put these lentils into water right now, it's going to swell to at least 4 or 5 times this amount. So this is a really budget-friendly way to eat a lot of food as a plant-based person or as a vegan or italist. This stretches. And I don't think this is more than $300 for a pack or more than $400 for a pack. Sometimes I'll boil all of this ahead of time and just have it in dishes in the fridge, so that whenever I want to make lentil rice, I have lentils. If I want to make lentil stew, I have lentils. You see me? So it's either lentils or sometimes I'll make chickpeas. And I like to make curry chickpeas with it. And that's gorgeous. It tastes so amazing, I'm telling you. Another one of my favorites is this here, shiitake mushrooms. I absolutely love shiitake mushrooms. You see, if you cook this right now in curry, nobody can tell us a curry go to eat. Seriously, this has that kind of texture and flavor. I remember watching this video earlier today where this guy was making like a really nice pork-like meal with oyster mushrooms, and a lot of people were concerned about the fact that he called it pork. But the main idea is that when you are switching to a plant-based diet, you're used to already eating meat. So now if you can create some substitutes for yourself that feel like you're eating meat but you're not really eating meat, it's a win, and it makes you not miss meat because you still have that texture and vibe. So the way that you prepare this is that you soak this in water, and then it will swell up and you'll just cook it the way that you would cook your regular meat. Seriously, I kid you not. Just cut up your vegetable seasoning, burn the curry, put the shiitake mushrooms in there, or you could just burn the curry, then you put in your coconut milk, put in the seasoning that you want to put in, then you put in your shiitake mushrooms. But your shiitake mushrooms should have been soaked and drained so that they would swell up, and then you basically just let that cook down. The amazing thing about plant-based food is that it doesn't take a long time to cook like how meat would take to cook. And at the same time, you don't have to worry about getting E. coli poisoning because there's no E. coli in plant-based foods. That's mostly found in meat and dairy and that kind of stuff. So that's one thing I really don't miss. I can't remember the last time I had a bellyache since eating plant-based. And that's something I definitely had a lot while I was eating pescatarian and eating very flexible, eating things like ice cream and such. I would definitely have a bellyache. Along with any of these meals that I just told you about, I like to have that with either mashed potatoes. Like the other day I had like mashed potatoes with a really nice stew and some lettuce on the side. That was so good. Sometimes I'll cook pasta, sweet potatoes, yam, and then I have the times when I will just like fry some green plantain. And honestly, that's a really fun way to do it. If you're not in the mood to cook a whole pot of rice, you can always just fry some green plantains. I really love frying green plantains. And I also learned that one of the ways that you can gain weight on a plant-based diet is by the plant-based oils that you use. So I use coconut oil. Grace has a higher end coconut oil that's for like $4,000 or like $3,000 for a bottle this size. So I'm honestly just sticking to this because it's more affordable for me and way more sustainable. This is the oil that I use to fry my plantains. I eat plantains every day. Plantains are a big part of my diet. Coconuts are also a big part of my diet. And another thing I forgot to mention with my smoothies is that I like to add cocoa powder to give it like a chocolatey kind of vibe. It just gives it more flavor in my opinion. And then I like to use peanut butter. And the peanut butter gives it a creamy vibe. I also like to use sea moss gel. I don't have any sea moss gel right now, but I like to just make a gel with the sea moss and just use that in all of my smoothies. But this right here, I'm telling you, like peanut butter, it definitely changes the consistency of your smoothie. And what I like to do is I like to tip a little bit of salt in my smoothie as well, because it gives it more taste. When you just have the ingredients just regular, so your smoothie is just gonna taste flat. But if you have salt, like a little bit of salt in your smoothie, it's gonna give it more taste. It's the same thing with porridge. When you're cooking porridge, you want to add salt so that when you add the sugar at the end, you can actually taste the sweetness rather than it just being fresh. With either of those meals, I also like to put lettuce. So this is romaine lettuce right here. They say that this is the best type of lettuce to use because apparently it has more nutritional benefits than the regular lettuce that they usually sell us. So I bought this for a change. But I really love to have lettuce on my dinner plate though, because it just adds more color. And they always say that in order to have a balanced meal, you have to have at least 3 colors on your plate. Ital stew peas is one of my favorite things to make as well. It just doesn't have the beef or the pig's tail. So essentially you're using kidney beans, cook that down in your coconut milk with your seasoning and everything, and you just roll up your little spinners, put in there, and that right there is like stew peas but just plant-based. That is one of my favorite meals, and I like to have that with jasmine rice or with yams. Another thing I like to do is that I will make a fresh juice to go along with my dinner, or I'll start my day with the fresh juice. So when I say fresh juice, I mean juice that has no water in it, no sugar, no nothing, okay? It's freshly made cold pressed juice. When I'm making my juices, I like to make a blend. So it's never just one item, even though sometimes I'll try that as well. So I'll sometimes make beetroot juice, but instead of just putting beetroot, I'll also put pineapples and I'll put ginger. Because the ginger gives the juice a kick and the pineapples makes it sweeter. If I want to make a green juice, I'll put kale, celery, cucumber, sometimes spinach, and I'll definitely add pineapples and ginger again. Ginger is something that will wake up your body. It actually raises your blood pressure though. So if you have high blood pressure, you don't want to be using too much ginger. If you have high blood pressure, beetroot juice is amazing for you because beetroot juice regulates your blood pressure. So not only am I having vegetables with my dinner, meat in the form of lettuce, but I'm also having vegetables and fruit in the form of juice. No water, no sugar, just the juice. You see me? A lot of people are also asking me about my skincare routine, and I feel like a big part of my skincare routine is the fact that I drink a lot of fresh juices and I'm eating plant-based. One of the big things that I cut out of my diet was crackers. I used to love these green crackers right here. These are the holy grail, and they're high calorie too. So if you're a snacking person and you love snacks, definitely buy yourself lots of snacks and eat those snacks along with the food that you're already eating. And when you do that, you're going to get in a lot of calories. But the reason why I cut it out of my diet is because I just suspect that it had gluten. Maybe it didn't because it was wheat crackers, but I still can't trust these corporations. So I stopped eating those, and I feel like that probably helped a lot with how my skin looks right now. My skin still isn't perfect the way I want it to be, but it's good enough, and it definitely looks better than it did back then. With the way that I eat now, I am able to get in 3,000 to 4,000 calories every single day. Sometimes it's on the lower end of like 2,800 calories, but it's still more than the amount of calories that I'm supposed to consume. So I'm still pretty happy, and I pretty much repeat this every single day. What I'll do is at the beginning of the day, I'll cook like a big pot of food and I'll just eat out of that for the next couple of days. The only thing I cook and prepare every single day is oats porridge and smoothies. That's the only thing I prepare every day. But otherwise, I don't cook every day, so that makes it even easier for me. For the most part, I'm just warming up, and whenever my food is out, I'll just cook a fresh batch of food. In between all of that, yes, I drink at least 4 cups of water because I want to also be hydrated. If you drink a lot of smoothies and drink a lot of porridge, that right there is considered water intake as well. So if you have that along with your 4 glasses of water, you will always be hydrated. So if you're busy like me and you don't really have a lot of time to cook, or you're not home a lot, then what I recommend for you in order to gain weight is to drink lots of smoothies. If you drink as much as 4 to 6 smoothies in a day, you will definitely gain weight. And another thing I want to say too is you can't wait until you're hungry to eat. Because if you wait until you're hungry to eat, you might not eat. You probably just eat twice in the day. Your body is set to only eat what you need in order to survive. But if you want to bulk up, you have to eat more than what your body needs in order to survive. And something else I want to say is that while you're doing this, you also want to be working out and staying active. Because even though this is plant-based food, you will still get a big belly. You have to also be working out. So you can do light workouts, you can do yoga, you can go to the gym, but you want to make sure that you're taking care of your waistline. So you want to work on your core so that your core doesn't get too much fat. I was able to gain 15 pounds this way, and I'm pretty sure that if I didn't have a few moments where I didn't eat on time, like now, I would have probably been much further than that. If you want to gain weight, you have to really be consistent with it. You have to be willing to be patient. Don't expect yourself to blow up overnight, especially with a plant-based diet. If you're eating a plant-based diet, you're gonna take longer to gain weight than people who are eating meat. Don't ever compare your body to anybody else's, because your body gains weight in different ways than other people's body does. So you could be eating food like crazy and it's all just going to your thighs. Meanwhile, for somebody else, everything that they eat just goes straight to their belly or their arms or into their breasts or into their ass. There are many different ways that people gain weight, and you just have to observe your body and see how you gain weight. Don't expect to see results right away. Don't get impatient if you look into the mirror and you feel like you look the same way. Because what happens sometimes is that you don't really see the changes in yourself as much as other people do. So you might go out there and somebody sees you and they see the difference in you, but you can't see it in yourself because you're seeing yourself every day, so you just look the same to yourself. And furthermore, it takes time. If you're gaining weight and you want to get like a nice round booty, don't expect your ass to start growing right away, because what's going to happen is that the weight is going to distribute out to all the different parts of your body first, and then when it's distributed to those areas, then you'll start to see it accumulating in a specific area. If you enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy this one, where actually what I eat in a day. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this.